Hey, have you ever considered a career in financial planning? You know what? The financial services industry is undergoing a rapid transformation with many experienced advisors nearing retirement. There's a unique opportunity for a new generation of professionals to carve out their niche and to shape the industry's future. So to help us understand the potential rewards and challenges, we're joined today by Ray Zadri, a seasoned professional financial advisor and the Western District Manager at Serenia Life Financial. Enjoy. Hey, Ray, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, Ray, the financial services industry is undergoing rapid transformation. And so, in your opinion, what's the current state of the financial planning industry today?
We have a lot of advisors that are, aging, retiring, getting to that age. The industry's been like that. I've been in since 2004, but as a very kind of old advisor, and that's not a bad thing. That's just life, the circle of life, right? So right now, there's only about 75,000 advisors in Canada that can help people with their insurance needs, because you just can't phone the insurance companies. You have to talk to an advisor of some kind. So there's an incredible opportunity to go out there and help families and businesses, because that's what we do. We help people, and it's a great business opportunity. It's not necessarily you're getting a job. You're getting an opportunity to build a business for yourself, residual income. Probably the best time ever. It's better than when I started in 2004.
Yeah, sounds amazing. So why should someone consider a career in financial planning?
One, if you like to help people, I know I've made a difference. I've saved people's houses when somebody passes away. Like, hey, we take care of the risks in life, and it's always bad when something happens. We've seen a lot of bad stuff happening around here lately with Jasper and stuff like that. But if you have insurance, it takes the sting off it a little bit of what happens, right? And so it's an opportunity to help people, make a difference for people, because we are a very financial illiterate country, unfortunately, and we need people out there educating people to do that. Most important thing for me is I wanted a business with residual income that was mine, that actually had something that was an asset for me that one day I could sell back and help my own retirement.
Cool. So it sounds like some of the rewarding aspects of the job are you're here to help. You help people out of some really tricky situations, and from a rewarding perspective, it can be fairly lucrative to you by helping and doing the right thing.
Yeah, I always tell people you can make nothing or you can make $1 million. It all depends on how you actually take it on and learn how to do it. A lot of people, unfortunately, 80-20 rule, a lot of people do make nothing. I'm quite honest about that. But if you really learn how to do it properly and are mentored, there's no ceiling for you. You can do whatever you wish.
What are the biggest challenges new financial advisors face in the industry coming into it? What can they expect?
Well, the biggest thing they get is products. Like, we actually don't really sell products. We sell solutions, and I've never met two people that is exactly the same. So it's just like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. You're learning how to do stuff. I used to program boilers so they didn't blow up in the engineering world, and we had to reverse engineer them to get to that point. So the product is whatever at the back end, you don't worry about. But the biggest thing that happens is they don't learn how to market themselves. They just don't learn how to advertise and make what's your sizzle? What makes you different than everybody else? And it seems to be a very difficult thing for people to understand. It was for me. It took me over a year to figure that out, doing another venture of mine, to figure out that if you don't have that sizzle, then you're just another person on the street.
Well, Ray, I interview a lot of people, a lot of businesses, and I got to tell you, the not knowing how to sell and market yourself is a universal problem. So, I guess that the next question I would have regarding, the challenges you have, how is Serenia Life Financial set up to help onboard new advisors to help them overcome these hurdles?
So we have a great, what's called a learning module system. That's over 30 hours of education when you start right off the bat. We even give you a bonus to do it, a little incentive in there. Okay. It's learning how to read. It's learning how to use different language. My book, I tell everybody to read, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It would change my life. So Dale Carnegie, the biggest thing is a lot of people are pitching, they're not influencing people. If you influence people, you can make a difference. And that's what I try to teach people. I was so fortunate. I had a couple of mentors when I started. I didn't know how fortunate I was. It was just pure luck. And one of them today, I still get mentored from a little bit about just great marketing ideas and language that will make people interested in what you're talking about. I'm very much about language nowadays because it changes so much. We don't talk the same like we used to talk a long time ago. And we have the tools to do that. I have the tools from my past to do that. Plus, we have levels of support. It's just not me helping people. There's 2 or 3 other people that you can get a hold of. And I came from a broker world where that support doesn't exist. Like I said, I got really extremely lucky. A A lot of brokers don't have it. You move into what's called the career world, like we are. You have all this back end stuff that can help you. It's just, again, it's always on you. Are you willing to open your mind and learn how to do it correctly? If you are, you'll be successful. If you won't, 6, 12 months from now, you probably won't be, because it's a business. It's not a job.
Okay. Yeah. Very good point. So I guess, from that aspect, sounds like there's a lot of great support should you choose to accept it. So then the other question I have is what makes a good potential financial advisor in the Serenia Life Financial world? What qualities and experiences are you looking for?
Open mind, about willingness to learn, humble yourself. I would say, can you hit the reset button and blow everything out of there? Because that's what I had to do 1 year after I had all this stuff happen inside of here. I always say to people, we always try to be brilliant. If we think we get paid for brilliance, we get paid for duplication. I always joke this, I say this, McDonald's feeds 1% of the world every day with a so-so burger. And so-so burger is the same burger everywhere on the planet, right? It's the same thing when you're doing this business. Is you have to have a process, learn how to do the process, execute the process, but ask a zillion questions. Don't try and figure it out on your own. That's what I did wrong. You don't have to do that. It speeds up the process. I got a couple reps that haven't even been in this for a couple of months, and they're just flying already because they hit the reset button and are just taking it all in about what to do. Being stubborn will kill you. It will kill you. If you can't, if you're going to be stubborn about how to do things, I got bad news. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, that reminds me of the expression, success leaves clues. So,
why reinvent it? It's already there, right? I mean, I always joke with people in Starbucks. It says, the reason I come and meet you in Starbucks, because every time that Americano, it's the same Americano every time I go there. You have to understand the power of duplication is the most incredible thing on the planet. And when you're in business, that's what it's all about, right? It doesn't matter what business you're looking at. And also really get good. Like I go back to marketing a lot, because it's the number one failure point for people in this industry is they really don't know how to attract people to them. Like I always ask people, a TV commercial, does it tell you any details? Never, because they want you to call the 1-800 number. They want you to go to the store. They want you to do this. That's marketing, and you got to learn how to do that. There's a thing I always joke about that kills people in every industry, including mine, is you got diarrhea of the mouth, and you think people care about details. They get bored. You just, get in front of people and chat with people, and good things will happen to you.
Yeah, perfect. You show up and throw up. So what are the typical earnings or potential earnings for a new advisor coming into the industry?
Well, I think if you apply yourself in the first year, you could probably make $50,000 to $75,000. That'd be a pretty common average. And then you can increase that because, of course, you're getting more experience to learn how to do better. We kind of get them to isolate like family market. It's the easiest part of our industry to learn and get really good at that in the first year or so. And then after that, everything's will get better. You'll get into industries and stuff like that. And you can easily, if you apply yourself, make $500,000 plus a year.
Yeah, that's amazing. And again, you're not just pulling numbers out of your hat. There's advisors all through Canada making these types of incomes, right?
I know one guy making $15 million a year.
Yeah, and that's not you, because if it was, you and me wouldn't be talking.
No. It's a good thing. I say, and people say, well, then why are you doing this video? Because I have always had a passion to help people be successful. I've been all my life, from president of hockey associations, coaching, everything, and it's just something that drives me. And I tried to do it as a broker, but it's almost impossible to do because of the structure of the insurance industry. So in the career side, I get to do that. And I used to give up half of my commission to have somebody teach me how to do something. Now I help people and they get to keep all their income, and I get paid to help them out. And it's just a great, great world that I can just be a resource to these people. And at my point in life, I find that very exciting.
Yeah, fantastic. That presents kind of another kind of question about, there's quite a few financial advisement firms out there. What makes Serenia Life Financial different from the other firms in the industry from a solutions offerings and company culture perspective?
Well, one thing is we're a fraternal organization, which is rare. So to make it relatable, think of a co-op or a credit union where you're a member. I'm a co-op member. I got to check once a year. So we don't have any shareholders. We have a board. So our advisors get to use free benefits to offer their clients. Like we give free wills, we give scholarships. It's very unique in the industry where an insurance company is giving back to the community. We are also a very humankind company, which we like to get involved in communities, and we give a lot of money. Matter of fact, even this year, we're even begging people to take more money for their charities. If they would just please take more and more and more, which is kind of a rare thing. But it's who we are, which is what we're about. A lot of our reps will tell you that is such a great feeling and such a great edge on stuff. Like even today, we take some of our earnings back, and up to $500, you get free premiums for 3 months. It's just who we are, what we do. Like we've given money to the Fort McMurray fires. We're doing something, with the Jasper thing that's been going into place right now too. That's what Serenia Life is all about. It's different. I've got contracts with all the larger companies since 2004. It's successful. Unless it's something that's going to get a lot of exposure on the news and stuff like that, they're not going to do it. We're here. We don't care. We're just here to help people.
Yeah.
Kind. Yeah.
Okay. Well, fantastic. That's these days, I think a lot of the up and coming people getting into their career and industries really want to know that, number one, they're going to make a difference, and they're working for an organization or group or company that actually gives a shit, actually cares about what's going on. So I think Serenia is checking those boxes just fine.
Yeah, it's amazing. They've been doing it for over 100 years, and people don't know who they are. It's I call one of the best kept secrets out there a little bit. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's change gears a little bit. Who's the typical Serenia Life Financial client? What do they look like? Who do you like to work with?
It's going to be the family market, young families, and especially children. I'm an advocate of kids getting insurance because the reason I do this, I said I was in the engineering world. I had a son diagnosed with severe autism. He's still living at home with me. He needs 24/7 aid. And I didn't know that putting insurance on kids when they were healthy was a really good idea. Now he can never have anything for the rest of his life because of that. I could have done it 15 days old. Boom. It's the most important time to do stuff, to look at everything, because it's also cost effective. Because the closer you get to age 85, it goes like this. I was meeting with somebody earlier today. He goes, "Oh, this is was a lot cheaper 40 years ago." But get started early. Yeah. You can create an asset for a child that's just unbelievable within 20 years. And just go out there and teach those people also financial literacy. And back to we really promote the free will, because there's so many families out there that don't have one, that are setting themselves up for financial disaster if they don't have a will and something goes bad. And that's the reason we put the free will in place.
Well, without a will, it all goes to the government, and they determine what happens with all your assets that you've built up for a lifetime. So again, buyer beware.
Yeah, and people just don't understand it. You're right. Like I always tell people, I don't believe in wills. Don't worry, you got one. You're just not going to like it when you pass away. And then, and again, it's just education. They don't know what probate is and stuff like that. So I really focus on our guys to really understand this, because that's the big difference in the end. I mean, God, we have a benefit where both mom and dad are killed like in a car accident. Every child in that family will get $500 a month income until they're 18 or 21 if they're in post-secondary. And it doesn't matter how many kids in the family, because it's important to have that come in. It makes a big difference, right? So it's the family market needs the most help, because there's just nothing out there to help them. You just can't. The banks aren't allowed to sell what I call traditional insurance. There's laws in this country they can't do that. So you're not going to find out about insurance at a bank, and the only way is you got to find somebody like me or somebody that works in the field.
Okay. So I guess maybe share, in what other ways do you help prepare your new advisors to work with new families and such?
So the first thing is they really just have to set up a meeting to connect with them, and then I get started. I tell them, everybody, I'm going to do all the work in the beginning. You're just going to watch, and you're going to slowly transition out of it. Whether that's a couple of meetings, 8 meetings, it doesn't really matter. But and that's how I learned. I was just watching somebody else do it first, and then just let me do my thing, and then basically you're going to start to learn, and then take off from there, and then start asking lots of questions. I also tell them, that I got activities for them. Like I always call it about business activities, not busy activities. Busy activities is what most people do, and they don't make you a lot of money, right? So it's some busy activities that I were taught to help you do that, and go out there and just start talking. You know what? You're going to hit a road bump, speed bump, blah, blah, blah. All stuff's going to happen. You just have to like I always say, I got this saying, learn how to surf on the crap in life, because the minute you don't, you sink. And if you keep surfing and keep talking to people, everything's going to be fine. I think sometimes the expectation, everybody comes in and thinks this is going to be perfect. And it's not, because about 75% of people in Canada can even qualify for insurance anyways. But you're going to have things that don't go right. So you just have to be cool and calm about it, and just, don't get caught up in the moment.
Great points. So I guess a question I have is, so you're, as a financial advisor coming on, you're basically building your own business. But from a professional corporation point of view, what opportunities are there for professional development and growth with Serenia Financial?
Yeah, like we have our learning module system. I have some tools I've used in the past to do that. We have a guy named Will Rogers who helps internally with all kinds of training programs. We do a couple conferences a year we bring people to. We have lots of online trainings with some partners we partner up, like Willful for the Wills. partnered up with a company called Razor Plan, and they're really good partners of ours. So we have tons and tons of training that people can be available to themselves. And then to get one-on-one time to talk about other things too, like with me or Will, or even farther up if you have to. We have different departments you can phone. It's really interesting, Greg, because we're such a really small company. We don't have layers. We only have one.
Yeah.
So when you're actually phoning somebody, if you're phoning Wayne, my guy, well, that's my guy. So you can phone him, right? I never got to call that guy at the other guys. It's an open door. You can call anybody you want. And so you can really just let your guard down and just really be comfortable that it's going to be fine. Ask lots of questions, and we're always bringing in more stuff. Like I look at stuff all the time that what's going to make us better. And we want to, the thing that excited me about this, where we were at, we want to grow now. And I think we're doing an absolute crazy job of it. Just in the last 5 years, our growth's been unbelievable.
It sounds like there's a lot of support and a lot of good reasons to work with you. Can you share a story about an advisor who's maybe struggling initially, but was able to achieve the success by, delving into the resources and working with you on the program?
One of my top reps today down in Southern Alberta, he came in and as a broker, and that marketing thing, he never learned it along the way. And I've known him longer than I've been with Serenia Life. Like we met each other a while back, and we're, through struggles and talking and meetings and teaching him things, like he's got an awesome opportunity to be top 5 rep in the country this year. I talk about him a lot, but he opened his mind, he listened, he went out there, made mistakes, didn't get caught up in the mistakes, and he just goes more and more and more. Matter of fact, he introduced me to a lot of guys that actually became reps with us because he believes in it so much. So I just say that because I know him for so long before this, and I've seen the growth in him. It's incredible.
Yeah. Cool story, and I can tell you take a little bit of pride in that story as well for what you've done. So kudos to you, my friend.
And it's become a good friend in the process. That's part about Serenia. It's I've tried to create a family culture that you can phone any rep and talk to them, and they will help you. I was just talking to one of my guys here since my office. He was in Vancouver, bought another rep breakfast, and they had a great time. They're sending me pictures. Beautiful breakfast, by the way. I would have gained about 20 pounds. But what's interesting about that is they're not helping each other make money, but the culture is I can get help. Yeah. And that's been something that I brought in when I started. I believe that's very important, because in my broker world, it was dog eat dog. Everybody's biting at the bone to get the thing. Yeah. You don't have to do that. There's so much opportunity in this financial industry that you don't have to be like that. You can work together as a team. Serenia has that culture. I
love that whole abundance mentality versus a scarcity mentality.
Yes.
So it's just people open up, man. There's enough out there for all of us.
I always believe if you share, good karma happens to you if you share, because that's just, I've always been a believer of that. What are you going to do? You can't keep secrets and take them to your grave. Yeah. If it wasn't for my mentors, they didn't keep their secrets. I mean, I never would have been successful either.
Yeah. Your personal commitment and passion for this business comes through loud and clear. I can see it. But, maybe share a little bit about your personal story. What drives that passion? What keeps you going?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because I talk a lot about purpose. And purpose has a lot to do with success in anything. No exception here too. But a lot of times people don't come in with that. So I kind of elaborate a little bit. So, I was in the engineering role for a while, and I took instrumentation. And then all of a sudden, 2004, by the way, your son's severely autistic, and there's 5, I won't get him 5 daily living activities, and he can't do 4.5 of them. And he's functional, he's good, he knows, but he can't eat. So all of a sudden I had to take a little partial leave of absence because we're running around the city of Edmonton, doctor appointment. Yeah. And that wears thin after a while. You're going to get 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years doing that. And I was also in management back at that firm at the time too, right? So to make up for my income, a guy says, you should do this. And I was talking with my own financial advisor at the time, and I went out there and I loved it so much that I was having because it is fun. You really make a difference for people. And I have stories about that. Is within 2 years, I was making more money doing this than I was in the engineering, and I had no problem dropping it, and I haven't missed it for a second. What I needed was to control my time, control my income, and control my family events, because my purpose is my kids. I got to do everything in life to make them successful. My autistic guy needs way more help than most kids, and I do everything possible to do that. Anything I've ever done has been driven to help them be successful at what they're doing.
That's an awesome story, man. That's so deep and so personal. And again, when a diagnosis like that hits, everybody's going to be empathetic. But to your point, it's got a time limit. We need you to come into work. So it's fantastic that you have discovered that the financial advisor industry has really given you the freedom and the income to live life on your terms and live to your purpose. So that's so compelling.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just funny when you have an opportunity to change your life and you do it. It works, and it's there. I know a lot of people out there that just, I don't know. It says, if you don't like what you're doing, change it, because you know what, you're going to do it forever and be bored. I've met a lot of people that have done something for 45 years and they hated every minute of it. I can't even imagine living like that.
So you're experienced, Tasha. You've got a lot to offer. What are this is Top Dog Tips show. So what are your top 3 tips for people considering a career in financial planning?
We try to set you up to be successful. We don't want to bring people on and have disappointment on both sides. So our process, which is pretty standard, I go to a lot of things in the States, they follow this. Like, you meet with our recruiter, Amber, and she works with you on topics that, that you need to know about success. You have to have a pretty good credit rating, because the insurance industry doesn't want you walking in the house and you're not doing very well and stuff like that. It's just part of the industry. If she feels, that there's a great opportunity, then I'll meet with them, or my counterpart, Joe down east, meets with them. And then we just have discussions about how can we work together? Will this work? And then we set it up where and this is interesting, I laughed about this earlier this morning. We have a process where they have to phone, get 40 people to answer a career questionnaire. And the one thing they have to do is they have to use the phone. You don't use the phone, it doesn't count. I've had people that say, I don't want to do it anymore. And I go, well, that's the big stumbling point, because this business has a lot of personal attention sometimes. When things don't go well, sometimes you need to pick up the phone and talk. After they get licensed with whatever insurance council in the province, and now we have 40 people we'll start talking to, because they've already agreed they'll talk to you before we actually get your license. And now your business just takes off right away, versus I'll do it after I get started, and all of a sudden 3, 4, 5, 6 months goes by, and you could have done that earlier, and I'm not making any money, and I'm not feeling so good about my decision. We try to set it up as good as possible so you can start off and running right away, but it's also to make sure you can do that. I have a lot of guys ask me, well, why the number 40? Well, I know if you do 40, you can do 80, you can do 120, you can never stop doing it, because you know how to do it now. But if you can't do that, then don't do this, because you're not going to succeed. Yeah,
and even to get to 40 is such a struggle, such a challenge for so many people. They're just afraid of the phone. So I can see that. And again, once I complete the 40, it's like, I can do 80, I can do 120. I mean, it just becomes so much easier. And you really, I know from personal experience, I really question, what was I so hung up about? Right. Once it's done, just get it done.
I love, because I was there for a year. My way works. Well, it doesn't look like it. My mentor in this other opportunity said to me that it doesn't look like it's working very well. It's interesting. That opportunity went from zero after a year to 50,000, because what I do? Okay, I'll make the hamburger. I get you. I'm sold. Duplication works. Cool. We're trying to make a tire square half the time. That's what people.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, listen, Ray, that's all the time we have for today's episode of Top Dog Tips. We've explored the exciting world of financial planning and the opportunities available at Serenia Life Financial. So remember, a successful career in finance requires dedication, knowledge, and the right support team. And it looks like Serenia offers all 3. So to learn more about Serenia Life Financial and potential career paths, what's the best way to connect with you and your team, right?
You can email me. You can call me on my cell phone. You can text me. If you go to our Serenia contacts on our serenialife.ca site, there's a contact button. You click on the top right. It'll come down. It'll say Ray's ad. It'll have my name and number. And then I got to get you connected with Amber, our recruiting specialist. But you get a hold of me, and I'll just help you get the process started to do what you got to do.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you, Ray, for sharing your insights and expertise. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Greg. It's been my pleasure.
Okay. And for our viewers and listeners, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast, and stay tuned for more tips around career advice, business opportunities, and no BS business advice. Take care.
Salute.
Stay tuned for more Top Dog Tips. We'll continue to bring you expert advice and inspiring stories to help you thrive in all aspects of your life and business. Until next time, take care.